Style from our district meet, taking a look here at lane 1, Carson Ocker. I'm going to play the entire race, and then I'll go back and talk about a few things I noticed afterwards. Alrighty, so final time of a 2:14. It's the best time by nearly 2 seconds. You also got 8th place, so you did score for us at district. Really proud of the time drop and your ability to contribute to our scoring towards a district title. Looking at the splits for the 2:14, you're out 102 and then back a 112. Now by 50, you are 28, 33, 36, 36. So that second 100, you're actually very consistent going 236s for 112. But I will say you were out very, very fast. So to be out of 28 and to close in 236s tells me that maybe we need to relax a little bit that first 50. Let's say we took out the first 50 in a 30, and maybe you could go like 34, 34, 34 after that. It'd be a much more consistent swim and ultimately result in a better overall time. So we got to think about race strategy. You're putting all that time and all that effort all season, and we take it out too fast, and now we're kind of hurting there at the end. Instead, we can be a little more balanced effort throughout the race. Taking a look at the start here. So I want you to notice your set and then your foot moves after the buzzer goes off. So here is where your foot is, the buzzer goes off, and you actually move your foot before you take the start, and then you enter and your hands are just a little bit apart. So you want to make sure that your arms are together in a streamlined position before you hit the water. So you got to have your arms tight, squeezing your head with your forearms in a streamline before you hit the water. And we want to make sure we have our feet set where we want them. We don't make any adjustments after the buzzer goes off. All right, looking at, oops, nope, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay, taking a look at the stroke itself. I want you to notice right here, oops, I meant to pause it. Back here on your breath. So watch this left arm through the breath. You're breathing, you're breathing. This arm is now underneath your body, and it's getting towards your hips as your head gets into line. So your head just gets back into line, and your arm is exiting the water. What we have to do, especially so moving forward, you want to leave your arm up front through the breath, and then as your head enters the water, you then start the pull. So here you're entering, you want to stay gliding here take the breath very quickly, get the head back, and then start the pull. Whenever you're pulling right here, that's a very weak pull. And that's because if you stuck your arm out to the side and you try to push something down, you would notice it's pretty difficult. But if you turned your body and you took that same object and tried to push it down with your arm out in front of you, it would be a lot easier. So the same concept applies in the water. If you're flat with the water, it's going to be a lot easier to pull that water as opposed to when you're here all the way on your side trying to pull this water like that. All right. Coming out of the turn, we didn't really utilize any underwaters. I do like that you have a nice strong kick throughout the race. And speaking of your stroke before, you do maintain a nice tempo throughout the race. I think that's one of the good parts of your stroke is that you maintain good tempo regardless of the distance you're doing, regardless of the race, the day, the weather, whatever. You do maintain a good tempo. All right, coming in, we're going to take a look here kind of towards the end of the race. So I want you to notice here, remember how your turn just looked at the first turn? Now you're coming and you really didn't even use your legs off the wall. Before you kind of at least had a little bit of a flutter kick, you came up an explosive. Here, you're really just floating to the surface and then to get going. The wall can be a great ally to you. You can push off this wall. It's going to be the fastest part of that length. We do a lot of underwater work, probably at least once a week. We're doing an underwater-based set. We got to start to utilize a strong push off the wall, getting a couple kicks off of here, and then start to swim instead of floating off the wall. All right, now let's fast forward here to the last length of the race. All right, here we are. And I want you to notice your breath here. So notice when you're coming up to breathe, this camera person, the camera's set up behind the bulkhead. Right, here's the bulkhead. The camera's set up behind this. But here your eyes look like they're starting to come up looking kind of towards this corner, and then you get your head in a position looking to the side. Also notice you have both of your goggles out of the water. So what we want to do is have our head roll straight to the side without ever looking up. And then a good thing to think about is having one goggle in the water and one goggle out of the water. So your head is nice and flat in the water instead of looking way up towards the ceiling, and we don't want to look up at any kind of awkward angle before the breath. I think we might get a better view of it right here as well. So let's see if you breathe here. There should be a breath coming up. No, wait. Okay, so let's go back to this breath right here then. So notice right here, you're taking that breath, and it looks like you're looking over here. Instead, we want to be taking this breath immediately looking this direction. Okay, so there you are now in that position, but we want to eliminate this part of the breath right here. We want to get straight to here, so we're straight from face looking down at that black T, to face looking over here to the side. And like I said, start to think about getting the water right about here, so you got one goggle underwater and one goggle above the water. All right, very nice job, Carson. Exciting stuff for you this season. Looking forward to next season as well.